May we ask everyone to please settle down to their designated seats. The meeting will begin in 2 minutes. May we ask everyone to please take your designated seats? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the APEC National Organizing Committee of the Philippines would like to announce the following housekeeping arrangements.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Taal Vista Hotel, Ballrooms 2 and 3. For your safety, there are 8 fire exits located in this conference hall, 4 in front and 4 at the back. In case of an emergency, the assembly area will be at the parking lot beside the conference hall. For your convenience, the clinic is situated at the Street Premier, room 267, while the restroom is located beside Dahlia Hall. Thank you and good day.
Good morning, colleagues. It's a pleasure to have you all today. We shall begin the meeting shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our meeting, please welcome the National Treasurer of the Philippines, Roberto Taal.
Dear APEC colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with great pleasure to welcome you all to Tagaytay City. We meet here for the next 2 days to explore ideas, areas where we can continue cooperative efforts towards sustainable economic growth and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. As the global economy recovers, the Asia-Pacific region is seen to be an engine of growth. For this year, growth in the Asia-Pacific region is expected to accelerate at 4.3% from 3.9% in 2014. The conditions are supportive for the region to maintain its growth path. Economic activity remains dynamic, buoyed by robust consumer demand, particularly among emerging markets. Exports have been rising as some economies move up the value chain, and inflation remains subdued, creating an environment of price stability and healthy lending conditions. Yet, some challenges still remain for the region. First among this is that uneven growth across economies and within economies. This growth divergence among economies necessitates greater linkages in trade and investments, such that growth momentum may carry over throughout the region. Meanwhile, the continued need for growth to be inclusive within economies makes urgent the adoption and implementation of policies that improve social conditions and livelihood opportunities. The success of such policies requires good governance, such as sound management of fiscal resources. The Asia-Pacific is not immune from economic shocks. Its geographic location makes it highly vulnerable to the damaging impact of natural disasters. It has been estimated that 70% of the natural disasters that occurred between 2003 to 2013 have hit the Asia-Pacific region, and that the Asia-Pacific region bears about $68 billion in annual losses from natural disasters. These underscore the great necessity for APEC economies to forge strategies against the negative economic implications of natural disasters. At the same time, the financial interconnections of APEC economies and their close linkage to the global financial market makes the Asia-Pacific region exposed to the risk of a global market liquidity dry-up and other market volatilities. As such, APEC economies must also build buffers to protect it from these financial market disturbances. Population growth and growing urbanization has been a phenomena observed in the region. This creates a greater requirement for infrastructure to sustain economic activity and preserve or improve the quality of life across economies. A common challenge infrastructure development is meeting financing requirements and ensuring high quality of projects. It thus remains important for APEC economies to continue cooperation in infrastructure investment. The Philippines, as host for the APEC Finance Ministers process for this year, has crafted the Cebu Action Plan. We have developed the Cebu Action Plan, mindful of the imperatives of the Asia-Pacific that have just been mentioned, as well as the progress that APEC has achieved through the years, such as the aim of free and open trade and investment set by the Bogor goals, the importance of sustainable and balanced growth and sound fiscal management highlighted in the Kyoto Report on Growth, Strategy, and Finance, and the priorities on financial inclusion and literacy put forward by the United States and Russia in their previous APEC Finance Ministers process hostings in 2011 and 2012, respectively, as well as the agenda on infrastructure development and financing that have been brought up by Indonesia in 2013 and carried over by China in 2014. With consultations from APEC senior finance officials last January in Clark, Pampanga, and inputs from APEC economies and finance ministers process observers thereon, we have the Cebu Action Plan as a roadmap towards a more financially integrated, transparent, and resilient APEC community that goes by 4 pillars, namely promoting financial integration, advancing fiscal transparency and policy reform, and enhancing financial resiliency and accelerating infrastructure development and financing. Our vision is that the Cebu Action Plan, being a key agenda in the APEC Finance Ministers process beginning this year, we can forge an APEC community that have harmonized policies, rules, and practices that enable and facilitate free trade and free flow of cross-border investments, access to financial services by low-income households, micro and small and medium enterprises, and the unbanked, good governance that results to sustainable and inclusive economic growth, reduce risk arising from financial shocks, climate change, and other natural disasters, rapidly growing financial markets with a diversified financial investment instruments and transfer risk facilities, and development of quality infrastructure to sustain growth. Dear colleagues, as we meet for the next 2 days to discuss on the Cebu Action Plan, we eagerly invite you to give us your valuable inputs to find ways in moving our Cebu Action Plan initiatives forward. We highly encourage you to work with us on the Cebu Action Plan initiatives so that we can bring about their intended benefits. We look forward to your support to the Cebu Action Plan as we together as one of APEC community concertedly work towards our ultimate goal of sustained and shared prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Tan. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin the discussions in our meeting, allow me to introduce myself. I am Giles Beltran, Undersecretary of Finance of the Philippines. I shall be co-chairing our meeting together with Deputy Governor Diwa Siginigundo of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. To get started with our two-day meeting, we have prepared for you a video which summarizes the discussions and events that took place in the special SFOM that was held on 21 to 22 January 2015 at Clark, Pampanga, Philippines. This video will serve as the jump-off point for our discussions today and tomorrow.